On the ZTV Sports Report this week, National Signing Day has come and gone. Who signed to be a part of the blue and gold? Terry Bowden reveals the signees.
Our very own Shawn Barber keeps adding to his storied Akron career. We sit down and talk about his latest achievement.
Our men's and women's basketball programs are in a key stretch of MAC games. Will they be able to stay strong in the long run? We find out.
All that and so much more on the ZTV Sports Report, which starts
right now. Only weeks into the semester, but that is no excuse for a bevy of sports news.
That's right, and no need to worry. We have all the news for this week right here.
I'm Sartaj Ojala.
And I'm Casey Hodgkiss.
Kicking off our coverage, we have the men's basketball team where they face the Buffalo Bulls and Kent State Golden Flashes.
With only a few games left in the Mid-American Conference play, these matchups proved to be pivotal for their postseason hopes. Let's find out how the Zips did.
The Akron Zips took on the Buffalo Bulls. Why are there empty seats courtside for a first place game? Anyway, Justin Moss for Buffalo. Huge 6'7", 240 forward. He could get anything he wanted inside here. Showed fighting through the contact, getting the and one, and Moss would have 16 first half points. Oh, well, I guess empty seats are okay when they're reserved for LeBron James, 4-time NBA MVP. And LeBron's known for helping his team on the court, but here he helps his team off the court as when he arrives, it's 7-6 Buffalo. But then Reggie McAdams would hit a three, Noah Robotham would hit a three, then Reggie McAdams would get another pull-up. Then, following the Ibatayo miss, Jake Kretzer would put it back in, and then hit 2 technical free throws following the play. And Isaiah Johnson would put it back up and in, and all of a sudden, it's 20-11 Akron after a 14-4 run since LeBron's arrival, but Zips would trail by 2 at halftime. Second half now, Jake Kretzer would hit 2 threes consecutively, putting the Zips up, and it looked like it was going to be easy after a Quan Cheatham 3, the nice post play from Pat Forsythe, but then Forsythe would miss the first half of the 1-1. Xavier Ford for Buffalo would have a huge dunk, and then a nice alley-oop to Ford. And LeBron, it's less than a minute left. Where are you go? Oh, beating traffic. All right, fine. Buffalo will get it to within 3, and here Xavier Ford has a chance to tie it, and it's up in the air. Oh, and just off the mark. Not really what you want. So now, just over 10 seconds left. Quan Cheatham Zips up by 3. Needs to make 1 of 2 to put the Zips up 4. And okay, second one. Now, okay, he missed it. Now Buffalo's down by 3. 1 timeout, but they elect not to take it. Bearden pulls up. Shots in the air. It just rims out. But, the ball's loose now. But he gets the second chance, and he puts it up. But, it falls short. And the Zips survive with the final score of 75-72.
Tuesday, February 10th, the Akron Zips hosted their MAC rivals, Kent State University. And you can see here, Zippy is pretty excited for the game to come. This game was a battle from the beginning, but you see good ball movement allowed the open lane for DJ Ibatayo to lay one home. Kent State showed good fundamentals of their own as they moved the ball around a lot too, tried to drive in the lane, but when it wasn't there, they found the opportunity behind the three-point arc. Akron kept sharing the love by passing the ball around, making their opponents misstep, which opened up opportunities to score in the paint. But this game was far from over, as Kent closed the gap on Akron just before halftime, and they went in with an Akron lead 25-23. But Akron stuck with their first half game plan, shared the ball around, which opened up many opportunities to win this game down the stretch. Another key to Akron's success in this game was their second chance points and their points in the paint, as DJ Ibatayo takes this tip and puts it back home. But again, Kent held in this game pretty strong throughout the game, as you see they score their own points in the paint here. The defense also held strong throughout this one, as you see here, Noah Robotham stealing the ball, draws the foul, also gets called for goaltending, which turns out to be a 3-point play for the Zips late in this game. But again, the key in the game was the ball movement between the Akron players, just create scoring opportunities. As you see here, Jake Kretzer hitting the 3 late in the game, securing the 61-52 victory over Kent. And And Akron's lead performer in this game was Forsyth, who had 12 points and 5 rebounds. And for Kent, it was Devereaux, who had an impressive 20 points in this game.
Certainly 2 quality wins for the Zips.
The Zips have been in the top section of the MAC East consistently. We will see how they finish this season.
Well, it's time to jump on over to the field house where our Zips held the 11th annual Akron Invitational.
Let's see how our Zips fared in the contest.
Friday and Saturday, February 6th and 7th, the University of Akron held its 11th annual Akron Invitational. The men's team is looking to repeat as MAC champs, and the women are looking to recapture the crown. Here we see Desiree Garland cross the finish line first for a gold medal finish. Now we move to Clayton Murphy, and let me just say, this guy can fly. The sophomore from New Paris, Ohio would go on to add to his list of accomplishments as he would finish the mile just 39 milliseconds over 4 minutes, while setting a new record for Akron. Here we see history created as junior Shawn Barber breaks the indoor pole vault record with an astonishing jump of 19 feet and 3.5 inches. We see him try to go even higher here, but it would only take him another week to break his own record by vaulting 19 feet 4 inches and a quarter. Congratulations, Shawn. Finally, in the 4x200, Miles Baldwin was able to secure the first place finish for the men. The next home meet will be February 20th for the Zips Invitational.
Clayton Murphy set a record for the mile, completing in 4 minutes and 39 milliseconds, and he was not the only one making a statement.
We are now going to talk to a barber, and no Sartaj, not the kind that cuts your hair, but someone who breaks track records.
We were able to sit down with the one and only Shawn Barber. Let's hand the baton over to Scott Nixon.
With this attempt, Shawn Barber set the new pole vault record for indoor track and field at the collegiate level with a jump of 19 feet and 3.5 inches. I was fortunate enough to be able to sit down and talk with the new record holder. Hey Shawn, how are you doing this afternoon?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. Let's get started. When did you get started at pole vaulting? How old were you?
I was 4 or 5, jumping in a barn with my father.
Jumping in a barn? Really, did you have a pit set up in there for you to practice on?
Yeah, he was a pole vaulter a number of years ago, and he was very enthusiastic about jumping and including me. So.
What age did you start competing then?
Probably 6 or 7, on and off until today, I guess.
At what age did you realize like this was something you were going to be great at?
When I started getting offers from universities, I thought that this was maybe something I could keep doing on a more regular basis.
Yeah, so being from Texas, how did you find your way to Akron?
I get asked that a lot, and it's kind of strange to hear, but it seemed like the right fit at the time. The coaching staff, the student athletes are all great, and it just seemed like the right fit.
2014, you captured the NCAA championship in pole vaulting to become the first in Akron history. How did that feel?
It's a great honor. It's something that I love to do. I love being here, being a part of the Zips, and putting on a good show for people.
And what would it mean to win the Bowerman Award this year if you get a chance for that?
It's definitely something that I'm looking at. Something in my train of thought. It's a big hopeful for me right now, and if I can stay healthy and I can keep jumping high, I think I have a shot at it.
Involved with Canadian track and field. Can you tell us about the roots about that?
My father is a Canadian pole vaulter, was a Canadian pole vaulter, I should say, and he kind of grandfathered me into Canadian pole vaulting, so I have dual citizenship, American and Canadian. And I was given the choice between jumping for America and jumping for Canada, and it just seemed like the right fit.
So if the Olympics come calling for you, you'll be Team Canada?
I will be Team Canada coming up in this next Olympics, but down the road it's still open, so we'll see.
So you plan on switch hitting and coming back to Team USA at some point?
We'll see how the future goes.
Keep up the great work and good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Shawn Barber has accomplished many feats this season as he has been named Male National Athlete of the Week twice and 3 times for his career.
What an incredible accomplishment for an Akron athlete.
We have more incredible content on the way after this short commercial break.
That's right. We still have some highlights for women's basketball on the way.
And signing day with Terry Bowden. We'll be right back.
One man, 6 of his friends. An unknown evil. Can love prevail over adversity?
Welcome back to the ZTV Sports Report.
If you missed the women's basketball team's recent slew of games, no need to worry. We have the highlights here for you.
Western Michigan, Buffalo, and Toledo were this teams trying to stop the Zips on their home court.
It was a Mid-American Conference showdown, and James A. Rhodes Arena became the battle stage. Let's take a look.
February 4th, 2015, the Zips hosted Western Michigan University and were seeking to avenge an early season loss to the Broncos. Here off the dribble, we see Hannah Plyben take the elbow jumper and get the friendly roll in. And then we see Anita Brown with the inbound, puts it up for two. And then on a fast break, Anita Brown finds DeAndre Gibson for the putback down low. Here Anita Brown gets the pass and blows by Jessica Jessens for the easy two. The Zips, though, would find themselves down, but these two threes from Anita Brown and Hannah Plyben would cut the deficit to 1 as the Zips would trail 31-30 at half. In the second half, Hannah Plyben picked up right where she left off as she knocks down another three. Hannah was 5 of 9 from behind the arc on the evening, and here Hannah Plyben finds Allie Ball, who's able to nail the contested three. Here we see a little extra effort go a long way as Senna King is tripped up, and then Hannah Plyben is able to find Anita Brown, who's able to get to the basket. And here we see Anita go coast to coast for the easy two. Anita Brown was on fire. And here Hannah Plyben does what Hannah Plyben does best by nailing another three. And then Anita Brown goes 1-2-3 the hard way, and she's pumped. Here, Coach Cass draws up the perfect play as Senna King's able to find Hannah Plyben, who nails the three with just over 20 seconds left to give the Zips the lead. The Zips would go on to win 69-66. The big three for Akron combined for 52 points, while Markeisha Harris added 22 for Western Michigan.
Starting off the game against Buffalo, DeAndre Gibson scores a layup. A long pass down the court to Buffalo's Krista Backus to Joanna Smith. The Zips' Katie Noonan reaches for a layup. A pass from Alex Ricketts to Hannah Plyben for a three that bounces off the back rim and finally falls in. Buffalo's Stephanie Reed whips around Ricketts to score a layup. A pass from Megan Barilla to Laura Hung, who decides to take a three. DeAndre Gibson whips around two Buffalo players and passes the ball to Anita Brown for the shot. Senna King takes the ball down the court and it's stolen by Buffalo's Karen Moss. Hannah Plyben once again makes a three. Buffalo's Kristen Sharkey pushes through and makes a layup. With minutes left in the first half, Hannah Plyben makes a three. Buffalo's Stephanie Reed ties up the first half 36-36. Carrie McMahon sees an opening and makes a swift move to make a layup. DeAndre Gibson makes an impressive three towards the beginning of the second half. Buffalo's Stephanie Reed makes a one-handed shot past Plyben and Gibson. Senna King decides against a pass and makes a three. A pass from Senna King to DeAndre Gibson for a layup past Buffalo. A bounce pass from Plyben to Anita Brown for a quick layup shot. Plyben makes another three for a total of 4 of 6 three-pointers. Buffalo's Krista Backus takes the pass, Anita Brown gets the rebound for the Zips and puts it back up for a shot. The Zips prevailed, beating Buffalo 81-70.
The Lady Zips are back home on February 14th as they hosted the Toledo Rockets at the Jar for some action. Anita Brown dumps the ball off to Senna King, who put in the hook shot. For Toledo, J.M. Bravo Harriet makes the tough basket. The Zips, though, would score early and often as Carrie McMahon dishes the ball to Katie Noonan for the easy bucket. Allie Ball swings to King, who splashes in a three. Toledo trying to make a game of it as Inma Zangura hits the easy jumper. Zangura would then pick off a King pass and drive it in for the easy layup. Toledo had no answer for the Zips offense as Hannah Plyben splashes in a three off the DeAndre Gibson pass. Anita Brown driving right down the lane for the easy bucket, and Carrie McMahon hits a shot over two defenders. DeAndre Gibson hits a deep three of her own off a Hannah Plyben pass. Here, Senna King is able to clean up the Hannah Plyben miss, and Carrie McMahon drives it into the lane, stops on a dime, and makes the tough shot. McMahon would finish the game with 16 points. King, continuing her excellent game, hit another three. The Zips would lead 45-28 at half. Toledo starting off the half as Inma Zangura hits a deep three. Hannah Plyben with the miss, but is able to get her own rebound and put it back in. Plyben would finish with 17 points. Senna King off the inbound pass hits the jumper. King would finish with 19 points. The Zips with some fancy passing set up the easy bucket for DeAndre Gibson. The Zips win this one 82-56. Senna King with a dominating performance grabs a double-double with 19 points, 14 rebounds.
The The offseason for college football is in full effect as many young high school seniors made decisions on where they would like to play their college ball.
18 young prospects signed to become a Zip this upcoming season, and Terry Bowden shares not only his excitement, but also his thoughts on the future Zips.
These are the players, the newcomers, the players that you haven't seen yet that we think that's going to make our program even more exciting as we try to take it to another level.
18 new faces joined the football program with 7 offensive players, 9 defensive players, and 2 athletes. The signings are highlighted by wide receiver Richie Cooper and linebacker Ulysses Gilbert III, both players receiving a 69 overall grade by ESPN.com Recruiting. While emphasis on defense was apparent with this class, head coach Terry Bowden highly mentioned the receiver position.
I think Jaquavis Dixon is as a pure receiver. I think he's going to be a receiver. Ray Smith as a sophomore at Apopka. Now, Apopka's probably won 5, 6 state championships in Florida at one of the highest levels. He started at wide receiver as a sophomore. I think wide receiver, when you lose Zach Durazio, LT Smith, and you got some guys coming in, they're very talented, but I think if I was a young freshman and I had great talent, that's probably where you'd say that what's the earliest chance he can help this football team.
Bowden explained why 11 recruits are from Florida.
It's our proximity of great football, high school football, Northeast Ohio, over to the Pittsburgh area. We're going to go out there and do some things that will change our status, who will take us to another level of football. They go down to North Florida, South Florida, and with their great speed and their great football down there.
With many signees joining the Zips, there's a chance redshirt options can still be used.
Sometimes a red shirt is the best thing. You practice, but you don't play. You don't worry about having to win the game for the team that first year. They're more likely to redshirt a high school freshman at 18.
The Zips also already have an internal goal set for next season.
We have to create inner competition. There's got to be a great sense that I want to be the best at my position. And then through that competition of one guy saying, you know what, I don't want 3 guys. I don't want to rotate 3 receivers at one position. I want to be on there every snap. I want to create that competition.
For the ZTV Sports Report, I'm Sartaj Ojala. Akron certainly were in the headlines for their signees, but the other teams in the Mid-American Conference made some noise as well.
We pitch it over to Brian Bielko, who gives us the latest spin around the conference.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with your MAC Update of the Week with some impressive performances from the Players of the Week and the standings in both men's and women's basketball. Let's get started with the men's. Javarez Willis from Ohio University and Chris Fowler from Central Michigan were both named MAC Players of the Week from the East and the West. Willis helped lead his Bobcats to wins over Akron and Eastern Michigan. He averaged 26.5 points and 5 rebounds through both games. Chris Fowler highlighted his week with the greatest individual performance in Central Michigan's history. In an overtime battle with Bowling Green, Fowler scored an outstanding 42 points and nailed 57% of his shots. The 42 points is the most by any MAC player and the 3rd most in the college basketball this season. On the women's side of the court, Kristen Sharkey from Buffalo and Amanda Corral from Northern Illinois were named the MAC Players of the Week. Sharkey helped lift the Buck Bulls to 2 wins last week and extending their winning streak to 4 games. She posted a team-best 22 points through both games. Amanda Corral led the Huskies to 2 wins over Miami and an impressive upset over Akron, where they overcame a 15-point halftime deficit. She led her team in that game with 20 second-half points, where they went on a 26-5 run in the last 9 minutes of the game. With the end of the regular season quickly approaching, let's take a look at the standings leading into the final stretch. The men's and women's standings are both close in both the East and West. The men's East leader is Bowling Green with a 17-6 record, and Akron and Kent tied at second. In the West Division, Toledo is leading with a 16-9 record, with Central and Michigan and Western Michigan not far behind. On the women's side, Ohio University is running the East with a 20-3 record and with an impressive 11-1 conference record. Akron and Buffalo follow up with a 19-5 record and 14-9 record, respectively. For the women's West basketball, Ball State is in first with a 13-10 record, and Western Michigan and Toledo falling in second and third. This has been your MAC Update of the Week. I'm Brian Bielko here in the ZTV control room. Back to you guys.
We know you love seeing our faces, but we only have one more break before the end of our program.
But we still have much more to cover. Benjamin and I discuss some key topics for our Zips.
Plus, we look at the top 5 plays of this week.
Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back.
Ow! Candy! We are here at the Akron Comic Con.
I don't know what I'm doing!
Welcome back, Animanga fans. Annabelle.
Staying out of danger.
Be sure to catch Goofing Off every day at 1:30 and 5 right here on ZTV channel 45-1. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube page.
We take it to the full court press where Sartaj Ojala, Ben Jeanette, and Elliot Georgiadis discuss the men's basketball game against our rival Kent State and preview the upcoming game against Toledo.
And alongside me again is Ben Jeanette and Sartaj Ojala. Today we're going to analyze and recap the game Akron played against rival Kent State, which they took 61-52. So Sartaj, let's start with you. What did you think of the game?
The game really showed me that Akron overall is getting better as an entire unit. One of the things that I saw Akron that was just not there previously is that their dominance inside the paint as well. I believe they scored about 20 points in the paint, and I think all that 20 points came inside.
Pretty impressive. What did you think, Ben?
I think it was the bench. The bench came up big, and I think it's funny that the last show we talked about the comments that Coach Dambrot made about trying to get as many guys as he can in, and at first I didn't understand how big of an asset that would be. I thought it would actually hurt the team more, but after seeing what they did to Ball State, now seeing what they did to Kent State, I think he's utilizing that bench in a way that it gets these teams that don't have the deep bench that, he wears them out in the second half. Take a look at this. He had Kent State 7 bench points compared to Akron's 30. You just gas them in that second half. They can't keep up with you. Now, teams that do have strong benches, that's where I'm going to be interested to see how Akron separates themselves from them. But taking on Kent State and Ball State, they separate themselves from those teams pretty easily.
Right. Well, now that we've talked about the Kent game, let's look ahead then to our next big matchup back at the Jar, and that's going to be the Zips against Toledo, everyone. So what do you guys think? Based on how we've been playing, what do you predict the outcome of this game to be? What do you think, Ben?
I think Akron has a chance. I think they have a better chance against Toledo than what they had at the beginning of the year because I think that Coach Dambrot, the way he uses his bench is going to be huge in this. And the way they play defense, you saw what Kent State was able to do against Toledo, and that was shut down one of their best players in Julius Brown. Take him out of the game, Toledo's not the same type of team that they usually are. So I think it's going to be a combination of great defense and then the scoring of DG Batayo and Jake Kretzer off the bench, along with Reggie McAdams.
Okay. Besides the loss to University of Miami in the Charleston Classic, this was the biggest loss at Toledo that Akron has on their schedule. And with me, I did mention before that Akron's getting better overall. But at the same time, Toledo's also getting better overall. We're starting to see everyone pick them to win the MAC, and now we're starting to see them really come in fruition. I mean, if you look at them, they have 4 players scoring in double digits: Julius Brown, Justin Drummond, J.D. Weatherspoon, Jonathan Williams. It's so many players on this team are really stepping up. And the same thing I mentioned about Akron improving, Toledo's improving as well. And we just saw Toledo completely dominate Akron. Now, you can talk about all the fouls you want. Maybe we got some calls, unfortunately, our way, or not our way. No, sorry. And in general, I just think the Toledo Rockets are a team that we need to beat, and they're our Achilles heel this season.
That's an interesting point that you make, but I think what we keep coming back to is Akron's ability to play off the bench, and I think something we've really got going for us right now is team chemistry. I think you can always match up players against players, and they might beat us in that front. But I think what we have is really team chemistry right now. The fact that we're able to pull so many people off the bench and still be so successful in the games, I think that's a big, testament to what Dambrot has done with this program. So, I mean, do you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, take a look at Toledo against Kent State. They had one guy with significant minutes off the bench, and that was 26 minutes, and he had 3 points. Everybody else, 7, 4, 9. They had 4 guys come off the bench. One guy had 26 minutes. That's, to me, if you have a bench that can go out there and play significant minutes, take a look at this. Against Kent State, Isaiah Johnson, 19, Kretzer, 18, and then Reggie and DG each had 20 minutes. That's huge. So you could just keep it close in that first half and then try to take the game over in that second half by just wearing them out.
And real quickly, Kent State, their bench points, we were talking about Akron doing some great bench points. In the game against Toledo, 30 points to Toledo's 8 points off the bench. See, that's going to be huge for the Zips. Now, do I think they can do it? I'm not ready to name one person the leader of the MAC. However, Toledo-wise, I think they match up with Akron perfectly, and it's going to be who's going to perform well and if we can stop their starting rotation.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for Full Court Press today. Thank you guys so much once again for all of your insight. Again, I'm Elliot Georgiadis. Thanks for watching.
Great stuff. Well, we have many highlights for this week, but which ones made the list? I'm talking about our list of top 5 plays of the week, of course. Daniel Cermak takes us through our Zips notable moments of the week.
Hi, I'm Daniel Cermak, and I'm here for the top plays of the week. Here at number 5, we're starting with the men's basketball team, who, after a Jake Kretzer miss and then a DG Vitayo miss, you're probably wondering, Daniel, why are you having us watch this? It's the top plays, not the not top plays. But Jake Kretzer would get a nice rebound here, kick it back out to Vitayo, who passes it over to McAdams, who puts it in for 3. Now over to the women's side, we have Hannah Plyben, who, less than 30 seconds to go in the game, sinks a 3 to make it 67-64. And I think they're pretty excited about it. At number 3, we have Clayton Murphy of the track team, and he clocks in the mile at 4 minutes and 39 milliseconds, just missing a 4-minute mile, but he still set a record for the men's team. So congratulations, Clayton. Number 2, it's an oldie because it was in show 1, but I missed it. I apologize. So now we have Cinna King's full court pass to Hannah Plyben, who puts it in, and looks pretty similar to Kyle Pohl's glory days early in the season. All right, number 1, not really a surprise. We had him in studio this week, and I mean, anytime you break a record, you're probably going to be featured by your school's TV station. It's basically a rule. Well, last week, Barber broke the collegiate record of pole vault at 19, 3.5 inches. So here's Shawn Barber at number 1. That's all the top plays for the week. Be sure to tune in next time.
Well, we wish we could stay, but we are only a 27-minute show.
That's right, but do not fret. We'll be back with more ZTV Sports Support in the near future.
We will see you next time. Have a great week.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.